We got an 02 Dodge here, 1500. It's got a wiper concern. This is a pretty common thing on these. So these, they don't use wires that directly connect this to the motor anymore. It's a PCI bus, which is entry level sort of CAN bus stuff, you know, low speed, low priority. This uses a voltage divider. So when it's off, it's about 5 volts, and each increment decreases the voltage. Now that voltage then gets sent to the cluster, and then the cluster converts that into a PCI bus message and sends it across the bus. So this is what the bus looks like. It's just a one wire. So we have a couple different modules here. The FCM, which is in the fuse box, and then we have some bus messages from like the amp, airbags, sentry key. TCM and the PCM are on their own networks. Also, they have an SCI, which is a separate network, high speed, which connects to the ABS. TCM and PCM all connect together on their own high speed. So basically what you want to do with these is you want to get your scan tool and go through and probe each one of these modules on the bus. So if you have communication with the PCM and TCM and ABS, it doesn't necessarily mean that the PCI bus is working, because you can communicate those through SCI, which is a completely different pin. So what you need to do is go in here and get heater controls, radio, airbag, the cluster, the compass module, and just kind of see if you can quiz those. Now all of those connect through a junction connector, which is under the dash somewhere. I didn't even really go in there and look, but this is kind of the preface to the star connector, which is a CAN bus twisted pair. So basically what we can do is we can go into the scan tool, into the cluster, and we can monitor these voltages here. It'll show what the mux voltage is, which is 5 volts, and then each one of these divisions will show you a different voltage divider. You can even see the voltage for the squirter, which is 4.2 volts. So the switch sends a a voltage divider signal to the cluster. Cluster converts that to a PCI bus and sends it into the junction connector, which is this guy up here, so that all the modules can read the same information. And it goes into this front control module, which is what this little box here does. So this guy is sort of like the entry-level BCM. It controls rudimentary functions like lights, wipers, stuff like that. So we can see from our diagram here, pin 17 controls the wiper on, and pin 37 controls wiper high, low. So you can actually go in here. These are the two relays right here, on and then high, low. So you can actually go through and juice these pins up with the power probe. But another thing you can do is, if you go here to pin, what is this? What pin is this? 38. That's the, is it 38? Let's see. Yeah, PCI bus pin 38. So you can stick your meter in there and kind of see if the bus is doing anything. So we already know from our scan tool that the bus is indeed functioning. So we can come over here and, without hooking the oscilloscope up, we can see that there's some activity there. Now this is the problem with these digital meters. They don't pick up everything. You need an oscilloscope. Okay, so these are the pins here that are controlled by this magic voodoo. So what we can do here is we can actually cheat this. Now if I move this back into its proper pin there and unhook this, we can actually turn the wipers on just by supplying power to this pin. So what this is doing is it's essentially jumping power directly to this pin right here, which is 17. This is 17 right here. So if we hook this one here, 37, that controls this relay. So if we hook this one up to ground and juice up that relay, now we have wiper high. So now we've basically verified that the controller circuit works, which is the switch. The bus signal is working. The wipers themselves work because, we can control them from the relay, which I did first, and we can also control them directly from the pins itself. So we know that everything functions. There's something going on inside this voodoo box. This is the FCM. There's a part number for it, 560 FAR 5434F. Now, of course, you know, they don't make these anymore, so they're all obsolete. And in this particular case, this one's already been replaced. But it's, you know, look, it's all smashed, all the tabs are bent. You know, this has probably been in and out of there a couple times. So there are some aftermarket places that make these and refurbish them. So in this particular case, we have established that control works, the power works, and the bus works. And so we know that we need to replace this guy. Now this is just a couple screws that just sits right on there. So we're gonna go ahead and see if we can dig one of these up and slap it in there. I'm not gonna record that. This is the end of this video.